Hello, brothers and sisters in the Lord. There's a testimony that happened with me right now, so I wanted to share it with you guys. It's about unforgiveness. So I've been doing really good with God. I've been reading the scriptures and worshiping and just like really getting closer to God and seeing how God was using me to minister to others, and just like it's been great. And you know, when you're getting closer to God, the enemy wants to come at you because he doesn't want you to, you know, be on fire for God and really help other people. He wants to try to stop that. We're in a spiritual war, and we can't see the spirit realm around us, and you don't maybe, you know, we don't always see the ways that Satan works. But this is how Satan was working in my life right now, to pull me away from God and to get, you know, like, come against me. I've had some really unfair things happen to me lately, one of which is losing the appeal to get more time with my daughter, and then my daughter posting videos on an application called Musical.ly. They're very ungodly, and when I try to call her dad and tell her about it, he is just mean, and said something the other day like, "Oh, I'm eating, you're gonna make me throw up right now," like just being bitter and mean. I'm like being kind and nice and trying to tell him, you know, like, she's not posting good stuff, this isn't good what she's listening to, it's got cuss words and it's talking about genitalia, it's bad. And he was just like mean, and I was already down because I lost the appeal lately. But I kept on going over the stories in the Bible of how all the people that loved God and really served God ended up suffering a lot of different things. So I was like trying to get over that, but then, you know, the devil was just like trying to put unforgiveness in me, you know, by using her dad to be really vile against me. You know, like, people are used to say and do things against us, and they're like little puppets for the enemy, not realizing what they're doing. Anyway, so I already, like, it was just like having stuff going on, and then it's just the devil using people like puppets. And so I was developing unforgiveness towards her dad. And then I saw a lady the other day who's a complete Pharisee, and she was preaching a false Jesus to all these people. And I was telling her that that's not right. You know, we're supposed to preaching about turning from sin. And she's like, those people don't want to hear that. And I was like, we're not here to please men, we're here to please God. And I was like just trying to tell her the truth, and she was just such a Pharisee. Like, when I first got there, I went with my brother to this place where they feed people, and they also give them a little preaching beforehand. So she gave me a hug, and she's all smiley, even though she's been really wicked to me in the past. And so she acted like nothing's happened, like we're just the best of buddies. And I really didn't want to hug her because, like, she's just not walking the ways of Christ. She pretends that she's a Christian and she's nice and everything, but she's really not on the inside. But anyways, I hugged her, and then afterwards, when she did her preaching, I was trying to tell her kindly and share the scriptures, but she didn't want to hear it, and she turned bitter and angry, and she said that I'm sick, and I'm a sick person. And then she started slandering me in front of, there was a girl that came up who goes to the Bible study that I facilitate, and she started slandering me in front of this woman, and it was just wicked. And I started developing unforgiveness towards her. And then I got attacked really bad by some spirits last night. It was really bad. And I've been crying and crying to God. And I tried to cast out the demons today, commanding them to leave. And I did that for like 20-30 minutes. And I couldn't get nothing to come out. And then I was not feeling good. You know, I feel sick in my stomach. And these feelings in my head, and It was not good. And I was just crying to God, like crying and begging him, please help me, please help me. And all of a sudden I got this vision of in my head of my daughter's father and in hell, what he would be going through with the demons tormenting him forever and ever. And I'm like, I'm dealing with demons tormenting in this earth, in this physical realm, in this physical body. I can't even imagine what it would be like in an eternity. Like, okay, so I got this vision and I was like, all of a sudden it shifted from my anger and bitterness towards him to like just pity on him. Really, I felt bad for him because I realized how, like, dang, he's gonna be tortured for what he's doing. I felt bad for him all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden, without even trying to cast anything out, I just threw up. It just came up like thick mucus and vomit. It came out. And then I was thinking about the other girl, and I threw up some more. So I realized I had unforgiveness that I hadn't repented for and that I had, and which is so bad. You can't have unforgiveness for people. So, yeah. And don't have forgiveness. It gives the devil a legal ground to work against you. And if you're working for Christ, if you're going out there, you're a laborer for the Lord, you know, the devil is just looking at any opportunity he can to come against you, and he will use people to try to just shift your walking in the Spirit, you know, and being filled with the Holy Spirit, and just try to put people in your path to say things and do things against you to get you shaken up and not in a good way spiritually and mentally. So anybody in your life that is coming against you or doing anything or anything that's going on in your life, just know that God is in charge and you need to forgive them, because they are just little puppets used by the enemy. You know, even Christians get used by the enemy, and especially those who are walking in the flesh and not spirit. Oh my gosh. So I hope that helps somebody forgive anybody that is doing anything against you, and know that, you know, the closer you walk with Christ, the enemy is going to try to bring you down. But just try to stay in the Spirit and stay in peace and love, no matter what people do to you, and just have pity on them, because if we really understood with our mind what people who are not walking in the ways of God, and they're not really saved, you know, what they're gonna go through in an eternity in hell with demons tormenting them, the devil is gonna be their father for an eternity. There will be no hope. And God, I got this feeling from the Lord. I know it was the Lord revealing it to me. He doesn't want this for us. He doesn't. I totally could understand when this was happening and I was getting that deliverance, is how God does not want that for us. He really doesn't want that for us. But he can't allow people that are going to be angry, bitter, and slander, and revilers, and swindlers, and all these kind of people that do these wicked things. He can't allow somebody like that in heaven. That's why they're going where they're going, because, you know, if he allows that in heaven, we're going to have another episode of what happened with Satan. He turned wicked. He got the angels to turn against God, 1/3 of the angels, and so they got cast out of heaven. God is going to give us free will in heaven too. So if you're not going to use your free will on this earth to obey God and actually walk in the ways that God has taught us in the Bible, then you're not going to go to heaven, because he doesn't want another Satan. Okay, God bless you guys.